G'day guys, and welcome back to the VEMA Trader 5 Keys to Successful Trading series. My name is Rhys, and in today's video I'm going to be talking to you about journaling. Now, journaling is one of the most commonly neglected aspects of trading, and I can definitely understand why. It can be quite tedious to do, and you often won't reap the results of journaling until later on in the piece, so it's really easy to ignore it in the moment and then never go back and fill out your journal. But there's a reason we've listed it as one of our 5 keys to successful trading. So in today's video, I'm going to show you why it's so important to journal and how journaling can massively speed up the process of you becoming a consistently profitable trader. And then I'll show you how VEMA Trader can really simplify the entire journaling process, making you more likely to stick to it and reap the results of journaling. Righto, so you might be wondering why even bother journaling. You'll often hear professional traders recommend that you must journal, but what's actually in it for you? And the first thing I would say, and it's not one that I often hear brought up, is that journaling helps you rationalize your entries. When you journal before you actually enter a trade, you're much less likely to enter a trade for FOMO or greed or any of those reasons because you have to write down, I'm entering for this reason. And as soon as you write FOMO, you're going to go, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. You have to actually really think about why you're entering trades rather than just blindly acting on emotion and getting into those trades. The second thing it does is it allows you to track your performance. When you are placing a ton of trades over a prolonged period of time, it's really easy to not know how you're doing in the markets because there are just so many trades that are happening. You know, you forget whether you're winning or losing, and there's things that go into that, right? There are confirmation biases where you only remember your wins and you forget your losses and you think you're doing much better than you are doing, really common amongst problem gamblers. There's the opposite problem where you think you're doing a lot worse than you're actually doing because you're only focusing on your losses and you're forgetting that you're actually having wins at times as well. So that is another big reason to journal. And the last reason is that it helps you collect data that can be analysed. Now I'm going to focus on that in video 4, so I won't go into too much detail on that one today, but that is a really key aspect of why it's important to journal. Now, you heard me say earlier in the video that one of the big issues with journaling is it's really easy to skip it and just never fill out a journal in the first place. That's why we at VEMA Trader have introduced a new feature, which is Journal Mandatory on Trade Setup. This is a user account setting, so you set it on your own account. You don't have to enable this, but if you enable this and save it, you cannot save a trade without filling out your journal on that trade setup. And how that feature actually works in practice is I have now set up a break and retest trade on Bitcoin. If I try and add that trade, you can see I get an error. It says, hey, you haven't filled out your journal. You need to put some tags and some comments in your journal before you can actually submit this trade. So by ticking that feature, I've actually forced myself to journal, making me more consistent with my journaling practice. Now, the other downside to journaling that I spoke about earlier is that it can be an extremely tedious process, especially if you want to collect a lot of data. I once built a spreadsheet that had 39 columns, each one of those a bit of data that I had to manually enter because I thought having that much data to analyze was going to be the bee's knees and absolutely revolutionize my trading. I proceeded to take exactly 2 trades and fill out the journal for them before I abandoned that journal completely because it was a nightmare. It took forever to fill out every time I wanted to take a trade. With VEMA, I don't have that worry. VEMA automatically tags 13 separate data points. So if I never touched the journal section, I would still have 13 bits of data for every single trade that I could analyze my performance by. But the journal section is also really done well so that you can quickly put things into it and get that data out of them. We have sliders, we have buttons you can just click, and we have what I think is one of the most powerful features of VEMA, which is the user tags. In user tags, I can just put any tag that I want and then I can analyze the data by those tags later. So it massively speeds up the entire journaling process and makes it so much smoother than my old-fashioned spreadsheet. So there you have it, guys. Those are just 2 of the ways that VEMA Trader can help you practice proper journaling and lead you to master the 5 keys to successful trading, which is what's going to massively speed up your journey to becoming a consistently profitable trader. Make sure you join me in the next video where we're going to talk about analyzing all the data we've just spoken about collecting.